Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So before we continue talking, I would like to thank Mr. Pete for today's account to showcase Shakir's prowess. So Shakir this season is relatively underpowered because this unit's strength lies in his ability to use his ultimate, transform into the lupine form for the aura, for the damage reduction, as well as the buff onto the allies itself. But unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of instant nukes with Graveborn, with your Storm Strike, with your Tarsibony, with your Wildest Burst. There's a lot of bursts before he's able to transform, and this is where I think Shakir this season is relatively weak. On top of that, Mauler's factional talent isn't that strong, so if you were to build a team around Shakir and around the Mauler's factional talent, it's not going to be as effective in most cases, especially on the defending side. So that's why for this season, this is the best team setup for Shakir, possibly if you have all these Celestial Hypogean characters built up. So first of all, let's talk about the core of the team, right? So the core of the team is your Celestial Hypogean factional talent, because for this one, you get this Chaos Revelation, which allows your Prime Carrier to get an energy restoration at the start of battle, and after they cast the ultimate, the Prime Carrier gets increased attack as well as max HP, which will make Shakir transform faster and become tankier if there's 4 ultimate casts. So that's how this Chaos Revelation works in Shakir's favor. And in most cases, your Shakir should be able to insta-jump, because if you have Shakir's EX15 unlocked, he will be able to get this cast the ultimate once he reaches the 700 energy mark, which means that he will be able to just jump forward at the start of the battle. So that's how this combo works with the Prime Carrier slot as well as Shakir. And on top of that, right, the first ultimate damage increased by 30% might not be that, I'll say, like impactful in most cases. In fact, in most of the cases, I think it's not really big, right? But for Shakir's case, it's big in a sense because the ultimate only requires you to cast it one time in most cases, and you should be able to stay in the wolf form, and this skill actually is a damaging skill, right? So this damage increase allows him to deal a little bit more AoE damage, so this is to synergize with all the different good stuff that the ultimate is able to offer. So generally, all the different buffs right here that Chaos Revelation give actually make Shakir really good. So that's why you will need this factional talent. So ideally, I will say you want to have at least Fresto as well as Twins in your carry in your team, because these two units, I think they are the most commonly used units in the pool right now. So this will give you your 2 Celestial Hypogean character, and then this is where you will be able to actually fit in maybe either a Skalita or Harak. So Harak's another commonly used character, and Harak has insane synergy with Shakir, because this build allows Shakir to transform insanely fast, and this will also give Harak the Lupine Aura, because both of them will be running forward. So this is the team setup that I'm running on this account. Later we'll showcase some replays on the defensive side, and Harak together with Shakir will allow you to have this late game carrying potential, right, with the damage reduction from Lupine Aura to keep Harak alive, and also Harak having that steamrolling potential to kill enemy, gain stats, and then life drain, and then move on to the next target. So this is why this is the 3 Celestial Hypogean that we're running. So let's say if you don't have Harak, right, you can also use Skalita maybe, and then with another carry in a team, like a melee carry, for example, like either a Sylvina, or either that of a really good melee carry I can think of right now would be Lenya. Lenya's also okay. So this is also another possible build. You can also run it with units that generally can fly to the front. Teddy is also okay, but Teddy in most cases goes with the Tarsibony comp, so I wouldn't recommend you to put Tedin here. I think Valgar's okay as well, but Valgar's not that powerful in the carrying slot. So I think it's either between Vala, Harak, or maybe Lenya for the melee carry slot. Okay, so this is with regards to the different substitutes. So for me, I chose Harak together with Twins as well as the Fresto to frontline. And on top of that, we're using Siren to slow down the advances of the enemy. So this is what I'll call the best team for Shakir, at least based on what I can observe right now. Because first of all, if you're running a Celestial Hypogean team, naturally you have more stats, because Celestial Hypogean Supreme Plus is basically a Paragon 1 normal unit. So this is where you get more stats of all your units, and you have insane synergy between your melee units like Fresto as well as Lila as well as Harak with your Lupine Aura. So this also allows Shakir to transform insanely fast, and Twins allows your unit to cycle through their skills really fast as well, making this team really cohesive. And next we'll showcase some replays on the defense with this team. So I think P1 Pro Max uses a light barrier combination with Shakir as well as Mikola. So he's also trying to run the Shakir comp, but let's showcase this team. Okay. So right here at the start of battle, once Shakir comes into the range to cast the ultimate, you can see Shakir just casting the ultimate almost immediately, and this is the strength of this build. Right, this build allows Shakir to maximize his strength, and the reason why we're using Light Surge is because there is a possibility that we are gonna face against like all the nuke heavy teams like your Graveborn Sylvina, like for example your Tarsi Bonnie team. So we want to have as much defensive stat as possible so that all our units can survive with the additional shielding from the laser beam as well as the stats itself. So next one we have Max Kui. Okay, so this one we lost, but let's take a look at how we lost over here. Okay, so Shakir's... Okay, so Lilime cancels out Twins ultimate. Okay. Shakir's able to transform, so the moment he finds a target. So this is one of the other problems with Shakir, because Shakir, right, this season is not that good because of this particular reason, because you get nuked down before you're even able to find your target. And in this case, right, our Shakir did manage to transform, but it was really, really late and he was close to dying. So that's why Shakir is not that good this season, because of basically this factor over here. Because what this means is there are a lot of Wilders team running around, right? And this is what your Shakir will get in most cases, because even if he's able to transform, it might be a little bit too late. So this is a good showcase of the Shakir problem for this season. But with this build, I think should be okay. So I think what we can do is maybe change out the charms. So right now his charm is tuned to the arcane side. So for PvP side, what you can do is tune it out to the Eagle's charm for you to get more HP as well as buff onto the ultimate power, specifically for that build, because for that build you won't have any issue with regards to the transformation. So being able to survive and transform to get the maximum ultimate power buff would be the way to go for Shakir. So this is for those of you guys who wants to switch between all your different charms. So that's for Shakir. And then next, let's run through another replay. So that's how Shakir usually dies. So we have Mr. Seed right here. Let's take a look at this replay. So Seed actually uses a Talia, but the Talia is not maxed out. So we'll see what he used on this one. Okay, so he's using the Graveborn burst over here. So let's take a look. Okay, so with this build over here, I think Siren also act as this additional counter against all the light strike spell, which is a particularly good artifact against Shakir as well because of the burst, like I mentioned earlier. So this is where your Shakir transform and then you buff up your Harald insanely fast. So that's the power of this team. Let's see what Simon did here. Okay, so Simon did the... I think Simon might be running as high as possible tier team to try to match it, but the synergy is a little bit lacking. Yeah, I think could have actually put in Iron here, but maybe because the OD is P3, right? So he wants to use the OD to carry with the P3 stats. Okay, so you can see our Shakir's aura just benefiting all the units that runs to the front. Really, really good stuff. But even after he transformed, he still got nuked down. So that's, I'll say, like another problem with Shakir in most cases right now, because there's just a lot of nukers. So the two problems are the nukes as well as him transforming a little bit too slow for his buff or benefits to come in. So the Bonnie Graveborn burst. But I think this is the wrong artifact. But he could be using his artifact, the Storm Strike spell, in other teams. That's why he doesn't have it. Yeah, but you can see, right, once Shakir transform and then, you know, you have all this front-lining power, you get this like super duper good frontier power with all the Lupine aura coverage. And this is how Shakir is the best in this team setup, or this is the best team setup for Shakir. So some of you guys might be wondering, hey Zeep, if I don't have all these Celestial Hypogean characters, can I run this team? The answer is you can still run Shakir with the Light Bearer side, but it is going to be a lot weaker, because with the Light Bearer side, you're also able to get additional energy regen whenever Hogan gets hit or get the energy regen over here. So let me see. Okay, so over here, reduces Hogan's damage taken by 40%, and the Prime Carrier recovers energy equals to 20% of Hogan's energy on hit. So with this light bearer buff, and another possibility would be with Siren together with, for example, like your light bearers, like I'll say Sonya, for example, to give your buffs to your carries. And then you can also use Hypogean, for example, for that light bearer with your PvP potential buff. So this is one possibility. And with this buzzword, what will happen is Hogan will drop from the sky. Right, so when Hogan drops on the sky, Hogan will be able to stun the enemy, and Hogan on the front line will be able to give you the additional energy regen with this part of his ability. So that's where Shakir will also be able to transform faster to give you that Lupine Aura buff coverage as well. But it's just a lot slower compared to the Celestial Hypogean one, because this one just straight up gives Shakir that initial energy to just pounce. So that's that, but this is with regards to the best teams for Shakir in the Supreme Marina side. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!